Welcome back to another episode of the Catapult Effect podcast. As I'm guessing, you can probably hear in my voice, and if you're watching the video, you can definitely see on my face, I'm currently battling COVID. Good times. And it was perfectly timed as we were focusing on energy and intent this month. So we're going to wrap that up. I'm actually a little bit late. I wanted to have this out to you in February. It's going to come out in early March instead. But I wanted to go ahead and wrap up the last bits on energy that I promised you as far as figuring out on that chart we looked at last time, for those of you who are watching and not listening, the map of consciousness, as David R. Hawkins, author of Power versus Force, had described. So we're going to dive right into that. It's coming right up. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Catapult Effect, a podcast where professionals like you turn challenges into opportunities for extraordinary growth. If you're tired of struggling, feeling lost, and ready to catapult yourself into the best version of you, then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Katie Wrigley.
Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a great example of real life happening, and I'm not going to do a whole lot of editing because I know that there's a lot of people out there who wind up having these same experiences, and maybe this gives you permission to put something out there less than perfect because, hey, guess what? You're not perfect. You're human. Embrace it. All right. So last episode, we talked about the importance of energy and understanding where you are energetically on this chart. And now I had stopped the episode before I actually went into how do you know which energy level is your normal averaging or resonating energy level. And why is that important? So if you're looking at this chart again, and I encourage you to look at this on YouTube if you have not already. So shame is one of the heaviest energies we can feel. And then right above that is guilt. And then it goes into apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. And those are the ones that are going to be draining. And then from there on up, courage, neutrality, going further up, these are actually really empowering energies that are going to actually boost the energy levels versus draining from your nervous system. Your nervous system knows that it's taking a lot of energy to put these down, but it doesn't feel safe to release them. That's something we're going to want to give it away to be able to release these heavier energies so that you're able to go up energetically. And that's one of the things that Cognomovement can do. Now, how do you know which level you're operating at? Well, it is basically, what do you feel your default emotion is? I had shared in the last episode that I felt like I was angry for 40 some odd years. That was my average level. But now, as I look at this, so just to continue, and I want to just give all the levels of energy now so you can kind of be like, yeah, this is me when I'm in a really good place, and this is me as a norm. So again, from bottom to top with the force energies first: shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. Each level, shame is the heaviest, pride is the top of that. And then when we get into the power levels, we have courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. When you get up to the level of love as your regular vibrating level, this is where people start to talk about miracles as a regular occurrence. I'm not going to go too far into that yet, but you see evidence of this over and over and over again. As you look at those, which one of those stood out to you the most? So you felt, oh yeah, that's me. And be honest with yourself. This isn't a place for you to hide. Just admit it to yourself. Which one is the level that feels like it's operating for you right now? For me, it's usually willingness. It used to be anger. So that means I went at 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. When David R. Hawkins wrote that book, Power versus Force, he actually thought that most humans would only be able to go up one level because of things and tools we have access to now, such as Cognomovement, such as other ways through somatic cognitive exercises that we're able to release trauma and other heavy emotions from the body. Now we have the ability to jump up many more levels than we used to, thanks to these discoveries and these advancements. So this means that even if you're like, oh, I'm at a shame level right now, it doesn't mean that you can't get to a place where love is your normal operating level. Is it going to happen overnight? Oh, goodness, no. But you can get there. And so why does this matter? And I want to give you an example that I think most of you can relate to really drive this home. The level that you're operating at, that is a lens in which you're going to view the whole world. And so if you're looking through a lens of shame, this means you're going to find more and more reasons to look through a lens of shame. If you're looking through a lens of anger, there is no shortage of things to piss you off out there. And if you're running low, you can just go to Facebook just for a little bit, check it out. I'm sure you'll be angry within a couple minutes, or watch the news channel that is at the opposition of you politically. Those are all really fast ways you can piss yourself off if you're feeling low. Not that I recommend it. Anger is really, really hard on the body. But that is going to be skewing it. You're going to be looking at the world through that lens, which means it's not even possible to see something from another perspective. It's not possible to be able to look at someone else's idea or perspective, because that lens that you're looking through is so thick and it's skewing everything in the world, and it's allowing you to miss all these wonderful things, all these higher vibrational energy levels that can be available to you as you allow yourself to release some of the emotions from things that have happened to you. So there's this part of our brain called the RAS. I always have a hard time saying the reticulating activation system. And I may not be saying that right, but it is, yes, is short. This part of the brain is telling you what to focus on the most. And this is why your energy level is so important, is because that's the lens, again, that you're looking at in the world. And there's a reason I'm repeating that over and over and over again. I really want you to take that to heart, because it is going to influence all of the information that you are getting. So let me give you an example. Raise your hand on your side if you have a trouble going to Walmart. Now, people love the cost savings of Walmart. There's a lot of good stuff that you can have, but in my experience, most people don't enjoy actually going, myself included. So what's happening on this small scale example here? So I went this morning because I needed to go pick up some prescription for my dog. I masked, I stayed safe, I social distance, I did all the things. I'm not interested in spreading the virus, but I really needed to get medicine for my dog, and I needed to see if I had the energy to drive. Totally wiped me out as a side note. But anyway, you know what the thought was as I was heading there? It's like, I hate Walmart. I hate Walmart. So guess what happened? The medicine wasn't ready when I got there. And then when I went back to get it, someone totally came flying out of the side of the parking lot around a giant, like 30-foot snowbank, and almost hit me. And I had to start laughing, because I'm like, I am absolutely creating that experience for myself, because I'm like, I hate Walmart. So my brain's like, okay, here's why you hate Walmart. That is a small scale example, but it happens over and over and over again. Now, this is one of the things that we see with first responders, that they get on guard more and more and more, because they are seeing the scariest in society. They're seeing the worst in society. They're there for you on the hardest days of your life. Your emergency is one of the regular daily tasks that they do in their job. They see those emergencies all the time, and it's putting their nervous systems on this hypervigilance. Something similar is happening to you when you're consuming different information that's going to be tweaking your nervous system in different ways. You know, there's an interesting stat. I've really got to get better about citing these when I hear them. But they did a study after the Boston Marathon bombing, and the people who watched the footage for excessive amount of times had higher levels of post-traumatic stress than the people who were actually at the race. I want to end on that point here to just really drive home how important energy is. And if you are willing and you want to see about changing your energy, raising your energy, and giving yourself permission to release some of these emotions that are making you feel like crap, probably also making you act in ways that aren't making you feel really good about yourself. And it's a slippery slope process there. And if you want help to rewire your nervous system and help boost those energy levels, I would love to talk to you. There is a link in every episode to have a virtual chat with me. And it's an opportunity for me to get to know you, an opportunity for you to get to know me, and we can decide if we're fit. I trust that this episode is what you needed to hear today. I am going to be back again next week with Dr. Sean McCloy. He is the medical director of Integrative Health Center of Maine, and he is going to be talking to us about different types of medicine, what types of medicine work for what, and what some of the best approaches can be, as well as the importance of advocating for yourself. So the rest of the episodes in March are all going to be about advocating for yourself. And we're going to have a couple doctors that are going to be joining me to really talk about the importance of advocating for yourself within the medical community and working with your medical team. I really want to make sure that I'm emphasizing that working together as a collaborative approach is one of the best things you can do. And there's a lot of different types of medicine that can help you do that. So I will be back next week as we start that. And until then, please be well.
Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend and leave a 5-star review, which helps grow the podcast and reach others just like you. While you're at it, connect with Katie on social media. You can find her on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram as @CoachKTDubs. That's CoachKTDubs. This has been the Catapult Effect with Katie Wrigley. Thanks for listening.